Hi guys, hope you're all doing well on this beautiful Sunday. I'm in Brent Knoll in Somerset. Look at this view. Look at this beautiful view. Look at that. I'm on the summit. I've got family living here. I've been here for years. I've never been top of Brent Knoll. So a good idea to do a nice video today. So touching up on a couple of the videos I've done, I haven't really shared too much about why I'm doing them. So, you know, from a young age, my mum and dad divorced. It was quite a hard upbringing. Only now I'm 47 that I can, move on and take the benefit from it. But it had an effect on me and my brother growing up. Like I said in one of the videos, my brother's suffered with mental illness, unfortunately. But my own experiences, my mum and dad divorced. Didn't know my mum. She knocked on the door when I was 12 for my brother's 13th birthday. Didn't know who she was. She stood at the door, asked for my dad. My dad came in and said, "Your mum's outside, she's still there," and still didn't introduce herself to me. So, that took 20 minutes or so. That had a detrimental effect on my teenage years. It affected quite a bit actually, because we kept in touch, and then the onus was on me to keep the relationship going, and I didn't understand why. I ran away when I was 14. Social services, police, school. In a meeting, I was asked who I wanted to live with. I didn't want to live with my dad. He was too handy and he liked to drink, so the anger from that was a bit too much for me and my brother. But I spoke up against it. My mum she said the best person, she didn't want me to live with her. She said, "No, the best person you're with is your dad." So one thing after another, then that had another detrimental effect on me personally. And then, in my late teenage years, it spiraled out of control a little bit, a bit recreational. That affected me. So it's affected relationships. My dad never had another woman in the house. He wouldn't do it after my mum. That was his choice, his own reasons. But for me and my brother growing up, we needed a mother figure. I think any split families are hard anyway, but I think boys and young males especially, if they haven't got a mother figure, and a lot is hit home about father figures for boys going off the rails and stuff, but I can see that and I agree with that. But then also the other side of it is, what about those who haven't had a mother figure? How do you deal with relationships with women? How do you treat women? How do you build that bond if you've never had that bond? So it's always been, for me, self-taught. So and the experiences of it has been quite difficult. I feel like every time I'm getting there and and it just not there, so it's had a big effect on my life, and it explains a lot, to be fair, to myself anyway. Got the answers from my dad growing up when it's affected my adulthood. He was kind enough to sit down with me and listen to what I was saying, what I didn't agree with the upbringing and stuff like that. So he opened up, he shared. He passed away 2 years ago, bless him, but all the answers on that side was given, so I can move on happily with that, knowing the man that he is and what he went through, the generation that he was in and a generation above. It's quite there's a lot of reason in the generations in why we are where we are today. A lot of unanswered questions. We're knocking on doors that ain't being opened at the moment, and it's having a huge effect on us. So that generation above us and the one above, they're not gonna Most of them won't do it. They just will not understand what you're on about. Why do you have to keep bringing up the past? Oh, I don't remember, and why am I apologising on something that I haven't got a clue what you're on about? I mean, move on. Come on, you got your own kids now. Concentrate on them. You know, the dismissive nature of it is quite hard to take if you're going through it, you know. But from my own experiences with that, we're not going to get the answers. Just stop banging on the door. And to a tiny degree, there is a little point in what they're saying. Do we need to keep hanging on to the past? Do we need to keep knocking on these doors? I mean, yeah, we want clarity, we want answers, we want people to take accountability for their actions. And, you know, sometimes all it takes is for that generation and the one above just to say, look, I apologise. You know, I didn't know. And then explain what it was like for them bringing us up. But they don't even want that conversation, do they? So, you know, it's a shame that they never knew. I mean, look at the knowledge we've got out here today. It's absolutely vast. You've got knowledge on everything. You've only got to go and Google or ask Alexa, you know, YouTube. It's just there, isn't it? But they're not there. And that's the bit that I can't stomach, to be honest. And I don't think that's right, especially with what's available today. They just turn a blind eye on everything, you know. But like I said, I was fortunate enough to get it from my dad. But my mum, on the other hand, I've had on and off relationships. She's passed away in January, and I'm gonna get zero clarity out of that. I mean, what do I take out of that? An opinion of a woman who didn't want to know me. You know, that's it. I mean, she built a relationship back up with my brother, which is a good thing. But my goodness, the amount of times I've lived with her for a little while, tried to bring it up again. Oh, hell have no fury. I don't know, it beats me. Absolutely leaves me dumbfounded how one person can have an effect on so many lives. You know, her grandkids, they didn't know her. You know, I don't know what they think. You know, they didn't know her. So it's a shame. It's a shame, but I've got to let it go. There's no choice in the matter because it's done. So I can no longer fester on that. So I don't know, we'll see. It's going to be a long road. But yeah, just upbringings with your mental health, and you know, you spiral out of control at different stages in your upbringing, don't you? And not all of us. But I know a lot of us who do, and there's no real explanation why. You know, my dad said years ago that until you have your own children, or when you're 30, 35 with those children, you're not going to get it. You'll understand where, he said, I'll understand where he's coming from. And to be honest, I think I was about 40 when it weren't 30 or 35, it was a good 40. But yeah, he was right, but it don't make the upbringing right though, does it? The effect, you know, the different mental illnesses that it can bring, you know. CPTSD, it's like childhood or complex. You know, there's abandonment, there's anxiety, there's so many different things out there, and until you see the therapist, some don't want to see a therapist. They don't think they're any good. Why am I just talking to someone, repeating all my past, and I just want to get better? You know, some people don't have any relationships on it. They live on their own. They're happy to do that. You know, self-love, all for it. You know, but it's a shame because they just had no knowledge, but they got it all today. And it's hard not to get a little bit bitter about it, you know, but again, you've got to be careful with that as well, you know. So I don't know, I just find it a bit sad, to be honest, that the effect that ignorance can have, you know. I'm not with my kids, but I do everything I can to be with them, and spend time with them when I can if I'm not working, or, you know, my kids know me, you know, so, and that's our duty, isn't it? I don't want them to go through what I went through, or my brother went through, or some of my friends went through, or a lot of you out there, you know. We don't want that for our kids. But the knowledge we've got today, I mean, at least our generation will take accountability for it. And for those of you who won't, and you're after accountability, and you've got children, and later on in life, if they come knocking on your door, you're now going to have to answer that door, and you're going to have to be transparent with them and share what it was for you bringing them up, and what you was going through from your upbringing, you know. I mean, we only know growing up how to do things because of our parents or close ones around us, you know. So don't dismiss your children if they're going through something. You're not allowed to do that. You know, we can't scream and shout now for clarity when we're not getting it, and then it becomes our turn later on. No, you're going to have to give the clarity. So just be mindful of that if any of your kids are going through something and they come asking questions later on, then you're going to have to do the right thing, and you're going to have to tell them. Otherwise the cycle isn't going to end. You know, it's just going to be generational again. It's just your bloodline again. And, you know, when does it stop? It's got to stop with us. I mean, we're all out here. We're all alert. We're all aware of mental health and everything else, and, you know, the different deviations on certain mental illnesses. You know, they're growing bigger every day. I mean, we're naming so many things, like, you know, so we can't fight for something and hold back when it's our children's turn. No, we want our children to be spot on with mental health, to be alert, to be aware, and to know where to turn, who to turn to. They shouldn't be scared to ask questions if they've got questions. You know, it's our duty to open up with them. I mean, after all, we brought them in this world, so, you know, let's not do what our parents done. So, you know, I'm on top of Brent Knoll today, and I can see for miles. Have a look, have another look. I can see for miles. It's such a nice place to do this video. It's pleasant, it's peaceful. Like a monk on top of the hill. It's nice. Yeah, it's making me smile. I think I found my place. But no, I mean, gives you a clear mind. The air's fresh. It's not too hot now. There's a nice little breeze. And my mind's clear. So I thought I'd share this with you today. A little bit of insight of why I'm doing these videos and what it means to me. I haven't gone into too much detail. I'll do another one and share a little bit more. Well, this one's more on my experiences with growing up with mental health and what it means to me today, and what I wish to do moving forward with it with my own children. You know, I don't want them to have questions unanswered. No, it's not about that. There's got to be clarity, hasn't there? You know, so come on. We've got a duty of care, haven't we? So let's not make the same mistakes as our previous generations, and let's get our kids right on path, and let's be there for them. Let's promise them what we wasn't promised, you know. So yeah, happy Sunday, guys. Enjoy the weather, and if you're down in the dumps, the day's still young, so get outside and have a little walk, clear your mind, and re-regulate. Nothing wrong with re-regulating outside. You don't have to talk to anyone. You can just go out for a little 5-10 minute walk for yourself. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, and hope you all have a good start tomorrow. If you wouldn't mind liking and sharing, maybe a comment on your experiences. Let's get the knowledge out there. Love you all, guys. Happy healing.